Jai Hind. The topic which we are going to discuss today is security in mobile agents. Basically, today we are going to see how, since we are aware that the mobile agents, they comprise of code, state and data. So, it is also associated with various security challenges. So, today we are going to look into it one by one. So, the very first thing is introduction. Advantages of mobile agent paradigm, application, security issues, classification, and what are the security measures we can adopt. So, the very first thing is introduction. An agent is an autonomous software entity that can suspend its execution, transfer itself from one network machine to another, and resume the execution on the new machine. They are programmed to perform certain tasks. In the process of performing the task, the agent may traverse numerous hosts, and the hosts provide an execution environment for the agent. The dispatcher of the agent is considered the home platform. That is, we are having a machine, various machines, and the machine which is initiating the mobile agent, it is your a home machine. There is a paper based on this. Is it an agent or just a program? And in this paper, various classification of agents have been given. If you want to study further on the classification of agents, then you can refer this paper. So, what is a mobile agent? Basically, it comprises of two things. One is your agent and another thing is your platform. So, agent is nothing, as we have seen in previous slide, a program which is capable of migrating autonomously from one node to another node. It performs some computation on behalf of the user, and the platform, it is a computer in the network that provides an environment to execute the agent. That is the machine which is providing the environment in this case, and the agent, it can navigate from one machine to another machine, and once it completes its execution, it may return to its home location. So, what are the advantages? It reduces the network load and latency. There is usually no transmission of intermediate result. This conserves the network bandwidth. It is operating in the asynchronous mode. That is, when you are working on a host machine and it is doing its execution, at that time it may got disconnected to the network. This is not a required thing. That is, when the mobile agent is working on a host, then the network connectivity is required. There is no such case. So, in this case, what is happening? When the mobile agent, when mobile agent moves to another machine, at that time we need the network connectivity. It is fault tolerant in nature. If what it says, if one of the machine goes down, then mobile agent can navigate to another machine. It can be customized according to the requirement of the users. It can be deployed in a heterogeneous environment, because when we are running the mobile agent, only the execution environment matters. These are the certain applications of agent systems. Agents, they are used in numerous areas of information management, telecommunication systems, parallel processing, online auction, etc. So, in the case of the e-commerce, agents act and negotiate on behalf of the user. Example, it can be auctions, service negotiations, etc. It can act as a personal assistant, act like a remote assistant. For example, can search and book air tickets on behalf of a user. User just need to initiate it, and rest of the things, it got handled by the mobile agent itself. In secure brokering, they meet and collaborate on mutual agreed secure host. In the distributed information retrieval systems, they dispatch to remote information sources where they can perform certain searches, and in this case and not restricted by working hours or connectivity. Information distribution, it works on push model. So, software distributor may send the software updates and versions to the user with the help of mobile agent. In the parallel processing case, agents, they can execute concurrently in distributed system, and thus a single task can be completed in minimum time. for the network security testing, mobile agents, they plays a very important role in testing the network intrusion detection systems. In the case of the database searches, it is efficient to send an agent to the server itself where a large database is located. So in that case, the specialized searches, they can be performed on that particular server itself. So we don't need to transfer the data back to the host machine, and thus saving the amount of bandwidth. But yes, there are various security issues associated. And why there are security issues in agent? Because it is autonomous in nature and it is mobile in nature. And due to this, the complexity and security issues, they are coming up. For example, in e-commerce scenario, agent may be carrying sensitive information like your security, social security number or bank account detail. And the agent must be secure and tamper-proof and must not reveal the information inappropriately. In the case of the host platform, they should provide a safe environment. If the host machine is a malicious one, then it can destroy the agent. A malicious agent, sometimes they attack the host and they can access the sensitive data or tie up the inordinate amount of resources and thus causing denial of service attacks to other applications or agents. Since agents, they traverse multiple hosts trusted to different extent, implementing any security measure is complicated in the case of mobile agent system. There are the various classification of security threats in the agent system. The very first is agent attacking the host. In this case, the agent is the attacker, that is, it is the malicious one. So the malicious agent, what they can do? They can steal, modify the data on the host machine. Lack of sufficient authentication and access control mechanisms lead to these attacks. That is, if you are not properly authenticating the agent, then in that case, the malicious agent, they can attack your machine. If resource constraints are not set, then they can also commit DOS attacks by exhausting computational resources and denying the platform service to other agents. Another type of attack is security threat is host attacking the agent. That is, the agent is moving to a platform which is malicious in nature. So in this case, a malicious host can attack the agent by stealing or modifying its data, corrupting or modifying its code or state, deny requested service, return false system call values, even reinitialize the agent or kill it completely. It can also masquerade the agent by delaying the agent until the processing which it is doing, it is no longer required. The host may also analyze and reverse engineer the agent. In the case, there's another important threat, that is malicious agent attacking another agent, that is agent to agent attack. So in this case, the malicious agent, it may exploit the public functions of another agent and it may hamper its working. Another important category is the attack by other entities, that is the external environment. Some other entity in the network may manipulate or eavesdrop an agent communication. So what are the security measures required? A security in agent system is based on the principle of trust. So a set of security policies and protocols establish the trust relationship between the entities. It is assumed that the agent trusts the home platform that dispatches it. So what are the security measures we can adopt in the case of the malicious agent when it is attacking its host environment? So the traditional method, for example, authentication, access control, sandboxing techniques, cryptography, they can be used to secure the host. So in the case of the authentication and access control mechanism, this is the very first line of defense against the malicious agent. That is, once the agent is arriving on the host machine, it need to be authenticated properly by the host machine. It is the host machine responsibility to verify whether the agent is the authorized one or not. If the host can authenticate the agent and in turn the device that dispatched the agent, then it can apply authorization and access control mechanism. In the case of the safe code interpretation, Due to the necessity for the agents to run on heterogeneous systems, the interpreted scripting or programming languages are used. These produces intermediate code that is executed by a virtual machine that sits on the top of the native processor and OS, and this virtual machine, it is providing an additional layer of security. Path histories. In the case of the path histories, we are maintaining the logs of the path information. So an agent could reach the host by making a number of hops, that is from multiple hosts in this case. So during this transit, a malicious host could have morphed the agent into a malicious agent. That is, the malicious machine has converted the agent into a malicious one. By storing the log of the travel of the agent, the current host can determine the route taken by the agent. Each host platform to which the agent travels to appends a signed entry to the path. This entry indicates that the host and identity as well as the identity of the next host the agent intends to visit. So the platform has to judge by looking this log information if the previous platforms can be trusted one or not. If it founds, if any one of the host machine from where that particular mobile agent is reaching to it, if any one of them is a malicious one, then the host platform, it can deny its execution. Another important security measure is the state appraisal. In this case, what is happening? The author of the agent, that is the home machine from where the agent is being executed, it supplies a state appraisal function called a maximum function. This function calculates, depending on the state of the agent, the maximum set of the permissions which can be given to the agent. So this function, that is the maximum function, when the agent is traveling, it is packaged together with it. It is moving together with it. So the user or the owner of the agent also supply another state appraisal function which is called the request function. This calculate the permissions of the user wants the user wants the agent to have during execution. The host platforms, they uses these state functions to verify the correct state of the agent and hence determine the permissions or the privileges which can be given to the agent depending on its state. So this ensures that the agent has not turned malicious due to the alterations of its states. In the case of the host machines, when the host machine, they are malicious and they are attacking the agent. So how the security measures can be taken? The very first technique is the cryptography. It is used to maintain code and data privacy and integrity. So both the data, code and data can be encrypted. So first thing is when we are encrypting the functions. So for the host to execute the agent, it has to have full control of the code. As prevention, the function of the agent is encrypted according to some conversion algorithm. This encrypted function is implemented as a clear text program. Even though the host is able to read the program, it won't understand what the program does. That is the program functions, and that is how the mobile agents, they got protected. But what's the disadvantage? The disadvantage of this technique is finding the encryption schemes to transform the arbitrary functions. When we are encrypting the data, then in this case, the agent data is encrypted and sent to host for the computation. The data that the agent needs for its computation may have to decrypted again and again, and this is the disadvantage. For this reason, the agent will have to carry the decryption key and making it much more vulnerable in this case. Another security measure is with the help of obfuscated code. So it is like a black box agent. So a black box agent is generated from the agent specification wherein the agent's code and data cannot be read or modified. Only its input and output is visible. So the algorithm that creates the agent is called mess-up or obfuscating algorithm. To prevent the dictionary attacks, the algorithm that converts the agent specifications into an agent uses some random parameters. These parameters allow creation of number of different agents out of the same specification, and the agents differ in code and data representation, but is still giving the same results. Another important security measure is the secure routing, that is, an agent can be programmed to have a routing policy such that it migrates only to a certain servers, and these servers, they are the authenticated ones. Since a malicious host can tamper with the agent's itinerary and also computation results, which can propagate, some fault tolerance is needed to ensure, that is, fault tolerance mechanisms, they are included in the case of the secure routing protocol, so that the agent reaches to its destination and perform its job correctly. Replication and voting, they are the two of the techniques which we can use for fault tolerance. The agent is replicated at each stage and run on the host. The result from these computations, they are compared, that is, voting is being done, and the correct result is sent as the output. So this is all about the security issues and what measures we can opt for the in the case of the mobile agent computing environment. These are the references which I used while preparing the slides. Thank you and Jai Hind.